So since you are an electronic engineer, how the shift came on, like from electronic engineer?
It was very, I mean, no planning at all. I did my engineering, I finished my engineering, and then I moved to England, to the UK, which is where I am right now, actually, while I'm talking to you. My ex-husband used to live here, which is why I moved to England. And then when I didn't, though I'd finished 4 years of engineering, to work as an engineer in London, in the UK, I would have had to study a couple more years for our degree to be recognized or whatever. And I was not one of those padaku types, who wanted to just sit in front of a desk and design a PCB. So I started doing various other things. I started working in a restaurant here as a hostess in a restaurant called the Bombay Brasserie. Very interesting. Got to meet a lot of people, everything. And then I was also with a model agency in the UK, and they sent me one day for a casting of a French film. They didn't know that I had done some amateur, theater, etc. in Bombay when I was in my teens, and they sent me for this audition for this French movie. And there were a lot of other girls who, were all trained actresses. I had not trained or anything like that. And I did the test and I got lucky, and here I am, 27 years later, still acting.
You introduced to the Bollywood from, I think, not from Dil Chahta Hai. Dil Chahta Hai was your second movie, I guess.
Yes, Bas Itna Sa Khwaab Hai.
Bas Itna Sa Khwaab Hai. So you started, but
so how? Bas Itna Sa Khwaab Hai happened because Goldie I knew because of his sister Shrishti. When I used to model in Bombay, when I was, between 17 and 19, when I was in college, Shrishti used to work with one of the production companies, which made a lot of the ads that I did. I worked a lot with them, and that's how Srishti knew me. And when Bas Itna Sa Khwaab Hai came up, I think she's the one who kind of told Goldie, for this reporter's role or whatever, why don't we ask Chi? And that's how that came about. And similarly with Dil Chahta Hai, Farhan was a friend of mine from much before he wrote Dil Chahta Hai or anything. So when it came to my role in DCH, he also just called me up and said, Suji, ek role hai and you're doing it. That's it. No audition, nothing.
Yeah, Dil Chahta Hai was a kind of the 90s was the time when I was born, so I don't know, but in my time also.
Now you are reminding me of my age, Pratik.
Yeah, ma'am. Yesterday was your birthday, the day before yesterday.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
So now the problem is the character Priya is quite a resemblance. Like there are girls who are still like that only. So yeah, nothing has changed in the last 20 years, I guess.
Yeah.
The Priya's character is still relevant right now.
Yeah. Yes. I think during Dil Chahta Hai, a lot of people, a lot of the guys, you would come to me and say, thank God our girlfriend is not like you. And a lot of the girls would come up to me and say, I wish we were like this with our boyfriends, that we would get things done. So even though Priya was it was a 15-minute role, but, obviously the way that Farhan wrote all of his characters was so good that, 20 years later, it's been 20 years of Dil Chahta Hai. 20 years later, people still remember it, which is great. So that's what's really nice about that film. No matter how many years have passed, people can still relate to it because it's like the life that all of us were leading at that time, 20 years ago. And even now, the younger generation can relate to all of the topics that were covered by this movie, whether it is about friendships, whether it's about the different types of love, whether it's about, all of it was covered in this one film. It was a path-breaking film, which, obviously everyone agrees.
Definitely, because when I saw Dil Chahta Hai, I was in 7th grade. I saw in 2006, I guess, 6 or 7. But still now, when I see it, still we
yes, my 13-year-old daughter and her friends sometimes are watching it now, so many years later. And it's so fantastic that they can still relate to, the things, the lessons of friendship and everything like it was then. And it is the same now. So, yeah.
But
yes.
Apart from doing love movies or all that tracks, recently, a year or two ago, Betal was a thing that I was eager to watch. Yeah. And I loved your performance. I loved Vineet's performance.
My Bhootni type of performance.
Yeah, but like 4 episode and the shortest
Yeah,
episode.
that was what was nice about Betal was, 4 episodes short, nice. You could watch it like a movie, and it's brilliant. I was very happy when given the chance to do that role, because I've not done something like that before. I mean, I've done stuff in horror before, which I did this Hollywood film for 20th Century Fox, The Other Side of the Door. So that was in the horror genre, but I was not part of the horror. You understand? As in, like, I was not one who was possessed, or I was not a ghost or anything like that. So this one was interesting because, number one, um, Tyagi plays this the leader of
Commander.
this the commander of this task force, and after that she's the one who gets possessed and everything, and so there was a range for me to play. That was what was very interesting about it. So I was excited about playing Betal, and more so than that, I mean, we did this for Red Chilies, so they were so thorough, and even our director and all were so thorough that we had all of these training classes, at the Red Chilies office every morning at 7 o'clock. And I would try and tell our trainer that, I would tell him, Yakub bhai, please, yaar, I'm supposed to be the commander of the lot, so I don't have to do all this running around. He would say, put on the uniform, carry the gun, and do the same training as all of them. So, so it was tough. We did training every morning at 7 o'clock, but it really, that helped, because it shows, when you see Betal, it's kind of believable what we're doing. When you see people running around with the guns or whatever, I think it's believable, which is why all of this training, etc., mattered.
Yeah, that's true. Like nowadays, there was a time when indie cinemas were totally boycotted by the people. Eventually, we are the
Yes.
viewers and we decide what we want to watch. And there was always a Bollywood masala movie. But right now, when I see in my age, when I'm in 20s, I see movies, lot of movies, which are good. And now they have opened up to regional market. So yeah, people are doing movies which are great Indian, proper indie movies, and they are getting recognized at a high scale.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So what do you think about it, that the process which has been taken in last 27 years, what do you have a take on it, like how the evolvement has been done? It was a sudden change in like 2018 90s when Sacred Games come and it changed the world for Indian cinema, or it was a continuous process of involvement, like the Bollywood movies which were made on a large scale with item song and all this stuff are now being pushed on, coming.
Yeah, because I think, number one, a lot of young talent, Pratik, has come into the picture. It's not the old Gisapita ideas of, boy meets girl, rich boy, poor girl, and the vice versa, and things like that. There's young blood that has come into the picture, and I think that's why I say Farhan Akhtar was the one who caused the change in the thinking of people. Dil Chahta Hai was watched by 75-year-olds at that time, and it was watched by 15-year-olds at that time, 20 years ago, and they all related to it, which is a different kind of filmmaking. Something that people have either experienced in their life before, or, it was not necessarily fantasy. Yeah, it was real. You see, so there's a difference there, and I think people started waking up to the fact that even playing real characters is interesting, which is why we have so many, biopics, etc., which are, doing so well, because people are now also interested in watching real stories rather than just fantasy, which people used to go to forget their worries and think about, oh, I wish I was that hero, I wish I was that heroine, that type of thing. But that's not there anymore. They like to see stories which are today, which are what people are going through and what they can relate to. So I think that difference is definitely there, and we are not dependent on the old school directors anymore. We're not dependent on the people who made the no offense to them, absolutely, but it's sad sometimes that you think a Sholay will not be made anymore. Yeah, but it's also nice to know that there are so many other stories that people still have yet to see, and the young blood that's come into cinema and the OTT platforms now is going to bring that to them.
Yeah, I guess because of the viewers are getting open to adapt things which were taboo in India, whether it was a
yes, most definitely, and with the advent of OTT platforms, etc., a lot of things. I mean, of course, there's been a lot of talk about censorship and things like that, and people going up and down about the rules and regulations and what have you. But I think all in all, it is a great time for entertainment. Not only because of all the OTT platforms, etc., but also because people are being given much more opportunity now. For actors, it's brilliant. You have a lot more opportunity because of all of these other channels, etc. And it's no longer looked down upon to be part of a TV series, or
that's true.
A serial actor or whatever. There's a lot of people. I mean, come to think of it, a lot of the main actors nowadays are part of big series, you name it, whether there's a Saif Ali Khan, whether there's a Vicky Kaushal, or whoever, all of these people are all part of some way or the other, part of a series, which is great. So that proves that, that this is here to stay. This style of acting and this kind of stuff, entertainment is definitely here to stay, and it's a good thing.
Yeah, initially, I guess, when my father was in 20s or 30s, the movies were there which were trying to kill the taboo in India, but now they are eventually recognized because there has been a continuous process.
Yeah.
But ma'am, for you, my question is that, is there in a setup in your mind that I need to do certain kinds of movies which are okay with the environment which we are going through? Because nowadays I think democracy is a myth. So yeah, there is a certain type of environment which has been created for India. So is there a subconscious mind which says you should not do it, or you should?
No, Pratik. I think for an actor, you just want to play different kind of roles that you've never done before. You do not want to be put in you don't want to be typecast. You don't want to be put in a bracket. A lot of the times people told me, "Oh, aren't you doing a lot of films where people are seeing you in the negative, films or TV serials per se? The bad mother-in-law, the bad aunt, or this or that." But even that, as an actor, you don't want to be put into one bracket only. But even if you are, you make it different by doing something else, by adding something to your character, by performing, in such a way that it's not the same as before. Okay. So I haven't written out and said that I want to do only this kind of movie, or I want to do only this kind of TV series. As an actor, you need to be out there and do, as much as you can do. That's what being an actor is all about. And that's what I love, which is why I am part of television, theater, film, you name it, all sorts of acting, as you say. I'm a dubbing artist, where the face is also not involved.
You have dubbed a Marvel character, Hela, and Marvel movies are right now in a great...
Yes, I'm Warner Brothers. I've done a lot of movies. Marvel, I've done a lot of dubbing, for French, for English to Hindi. And that is also brilliant. It's another form of acting, but it is full-on acting because you are copying somebody else, yes, because to match their voice, etc., and match the emotion that they portrayed it as. But still, you're doing acting as well. You can't just listen to it and say, okay, she said it like and you do It's, you have to feel it yourself when you're watching, but only it's somebody else's face. And that's a very, very interesting genre, of work that I've been doing. And I've been lucky enough to voice for brilliant female artists, whether it's Cate Blanchett. I was Hela I played Hela's voice in Thor. Meryl Streep, her voice in Mary Poppins too.
Okay.
Yeah. So Meryl Streep's character, I got to sing her song as well in Hindi and to play her. That was a big feather in my cap. Renée Zellweger's character, Netflix, What If, Maya Rudolph in Wine Country, Maggie Gyllenhaal in Dark Knight. Maggie Q. Yeah. Maggie Q in Die Hard. So many. I've played also animated films. Wall-E, Bolt, so many of them. I've played, animated character voices as well, and that's it's good fun. It's really, really good fun. In the trailer of Terminator, I am her voice as well. The trailer, I didn't do the movie, but in the trailer, I'm Sarah Connor's voice in the trailer.
Yeah, and nowadays, when I thought dubbing career is not an option, but right now when I see Rajesh Khattar, he is playing just only Iron Man. And he is making $1 million right now. just for the
I
guy.
know.
Yeah, that's the truth. Like
और
people,
millions की बात मत करो यार, you don't get paid that much, but you do it for the love of
so
it.
I don't think
Yeah.
BuzzFeed. This is a stat from BuzzFeed, not from my side. So I have not checked it, but yeah, I thought so because Iron Man has been like a part of my childhood, and right now people after
Yes, of course,
Iron, yeah,
yeah.
there is a like big fan base of Robert Downey Jr. in India, and that's why. Hopefully, he will shoot a movie.
You know, I must tell you an interesting story, Pratik, about dubbing. Since we're talking about dubbing, I had done the voice of Hela, Thor, and I had just finished recording in Bombay, and the Hindi version, and then I went to America, and I was in Chicago. You won't believe this. This really sounds like it's not a true story. It is 100% true. Cross my heart. I was shopping in a store in Chicago, and I went to the counter to pay for my things, and there was a Black American gentleman who was behind the counter, and he said, "Oh, are you ready?" And I said, "Yes, I'm ready to pay." I said that much. Okay. He said, "Okay, let's start." And then I said only that much to him, and he said, "Ma'am, I love your voice." Yeah. And he was just, scanning my the clothes that I had bought over there. I said, "Oh, thank you very much." And he said, "I don't know why, but I could tell you, ma'am, you could be that villain in this new movie, Thor." And Pratik, my mouth just fell open. Can you believe it? I mean, how many in a million chances is it that somebody in Chicago will recognize, will place my voice as a match to Thor, to Hela in Thor? That was unbelievable for me. It was absolutely, I was just standing there with my mouth open, and he said, "Ma'am, are you okay? What happened?" And I said, "I don't know if you're going to believe this, but I just voiced for Hela in Thor in Bombay before coming here." He started screaming, shouting. He said, "No way, this is crazy, But so I came back to Bombay, and I called up the people who were recording it, and I said, "Looks like you made a good choice with me, because this is the incident that happened."
So मैम आप अभी तक कॉमिक कॉन गई हो एक बार कभी मौका मिला मार्वल की कॉमिक कॉन जाने का?
नहीं
मैम जाओ, बहुत मजा आता है. Like I was not. My friend is from Angola. He has done petroleum engineering with me. So he went last year in 2019, and it was quite a big thing. Like
it was quite an experience.
Yeah, Americans are crazy regarding their films. In India also.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
yes, that's for sure.
India there are specific. They are based to characters, or based to the, like, whether it is Salman Khan or Rajinikanth or Shah Rukh Khan. But in America, I've heard from my friends, and they have a fan base of the directors mostly. Whereas Christopher.
Oh yeah.
That thing.
No doubt. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just one question is the short one, that you have done quite a good range of work, but do you think Bollywood is still lacking behind the Hollywood or the British industry?
No, see, as far as talent is concerned, they're not lacking. I think that we have brilliant talent in our country, which hasn't been tapped yet. We don't have just one Dev Patel or one, from whether it's been, God bless him, Irfan Khan or anybody else. I mean, there is hell of a lot of talent, and we're seeing a lot more of it now, thanks to so much more work coming into the picture. As far as filmmaking is concerned, I think we do have a little way to go, because number one, money-wise, it's huger there in Hollywood, etc. So that may be a little bit of a problem. But as far as talent goes, no doubt, whether it's directors, whether, we've got people on par with people there. It's just that they need the right avenue or the right, backing behind them to, to put stuff across. Then I think, but I think we're moving in the right direction, Pratik. We have quite a way to go as far as professionalism is concerned. I'm happy that I was part of DCH, which I think changed the face of the professionalism in our industry. The way they worked was just phenomenal, and I had done other stuff before, whether it was television or whatever. But the way they worked, sticking to call sheets and, assistant directors, each assistant director for a particular part of the movie, or each one assigned one to one actor, things like that, little things which just made everything so streamlined, that when you go onto the set, all you need to concentrate on is your work. getting the scene done, you know, concentrating on your acting and get out of there, you know, not wondering, are ye costume fit ho raha hai ki wo ki ye, you know, because all of that was fully streamlined and absolutely perfect before even going onto the set. That kind of professionalism is what you see abroad, you know, and that is like halwa for them, you know, it's just done. Yeah, but हमारी industry में थोड़ा सा time लगेगा, लेकिन it's happening.